I don't have just one gift. No, I started out as a pastor. I always just wanted to be a pastor. I used to follow a pastor called Fred Price. Yeah, I like the way he taught and the way he walked around preaching. I mean, I was just watching him all the time on video. That's one of the ways to learn. Ezekiel 40 and verse 4 says, Son of man, behold with your ears, see with your eyes, and set your heart on what I show you. Sometimes God will bring you someone and he wants you to look at the person and listen and set your heart on the things you are seeing. Ezekiel 40 verse 4. So I started pastoring. Then I wanted to teach. And I started to teach the word. And then a time came, I had just one church. And somehow the Lord led me that I could grow. The church could grow by starting branches of the church. And that it's like it can't grow in a certain way, but it could grow in another way. You know, there's a height you can't grow beyond. Because you can't continue growing taller. There's a point, that's your height. But you may grow fatter, or your stomach may get bigger, or other parts may develop, you know. So the Lord showed me that, look, the church can grow in another way. And that's what led me to start churches. I kept starting more churches. And the way to start churches, that's the apostolic gift. So I became an apostle, starting churches without really, I just wanted the church to grow bigger. Until the branches were bigger than my church. And the people in the branches were more than the people in my church. And the income from the branches was more than the income in the church. And then we started doing branches outside the country. In so many places. Sometimes I would look at a city. I remember one time I arrived in Johannesburg Airport. I was waiting for a flight. And as I was standing there, I was looking at the flights that were coming in the cities. Every city I saw on the board, I would say, I'll start a church in this city. I said, the flight arriving from this town or a flight to this city, gate 20, gate 21, gate 1. When I see the city at the airport, I say, this city, I'll be there. No city shall be too strong. So, gradually, I saw that I became an apostle. Then one day, I felt the Lord telling me that I should have crusades. I said, me, nobody knows me as an evangelist. But I've learned, you see, people say it's painful, it's costly to obey. It's very, you have to make a big sacrifice. Listen, try disobedience and see how costly that one is. So I started evangelism, I started crusade. I said, Lord, nobody knows me as an evangelist. It's going to be a problem. But you see, gradually, I started with a few people, and we kept going round and round and round and round. And amazing, the Lord has done many great things. And many other gifts. Recently, not so recently, but over the last 10 years, I started writing songs. I started producing music. Yeah. And I have so many other things. One day I was praying, I said, Lord, the Lord was telling me this scripture that I'm going to account for everything. I said, wow. I started writing books. One day the Lord told me, write a book. I said, me, no one will ever read my book. Why should I write a book when Kenneth Hagin and great people have written books? How will anybody ever read my book? But I was afraid. You must fear to disobey. So I decided to write. And today we have published over 60 million books. Yes, million, not thousand. If God gives you different talents, make sure you follow all of them.